Welcome to Riverside Today. I'm your host, Kit Sammy. Today's show covers the latest grade separation projects throughout the city. Then we go to the new home for Parks, Recreation, and Community Services. Next, we'll see what park the city is welcoming into its fold. Then, find out how Assembly Bill AB 811 can help you finance energy and water-efficient projects. Also see the results of efforts to help our sister city in Japan who was affected by the recent earthquake. Finally, we'll take in all the fun at the first La Sierra Grand Prix. So stay tuned, you're watching Riverside Today.
Riverside's Grade Separations project is the city's single largest municipal transportation engineering effort in modern history. On paper, it seems simple. Design or reconstruct streets under or over rails that have had the right-of-way for more than 100 years. When finished, both rail and vehicles will be able to move without stopping. Now, the largest of the grade separations in the heart of Riverside is nearly finished. The Magnolia Avenue separation will be open this summer, but city officials say there are more separations to come.
We've completed Harupa Avenue, it's an underpass on the west end of town, and Columbia, which is an overpass up in the Hunter Park area. We're at Magnolia Avenue and the Union Pacific tracks. We're kind of like in the heart of the city right now with this project. Being in the middle of the city, we have a lot more traffic on this street, more complex project to try to build. So it's a little more difficult project.
Under the Renaissance, the 5-year, $1.4 billion public investment program, 7 grade separations will be completed. 2, Columbia and Harupa, are already finished. Magnolia is under construction, and preparations have begun on Streeter, Riverside Avenue, Iowa, and 3rd Street.
Magnolia is a grade separation that is putting the cars underneath the tracks because of that dangerous situation when cars and trains are at the same level. We've got about 26 grade crossings here in the city of Riverside, this one being right in the center of the mix between cars and trains. We have close to 130 trains a day coming through the 2 tracks on the BNSF line, and this one behind me, which is the Union Pacific line, which holds the majority, or more than 50%, about 70 trains a day come down the Union Pacific line and conflict with our automobiles, bicyclists, and pedestrians.
Union Pacific works with the city and the agencies involved in terms of the engineering work and making sure that all the workers around the site are kept safe. As you can see, we still have active freight lines behind us. The trains don't stop, so we have to coordinate all the work to make sure everyone is safe. Also, another way that Union Pacific participates is through financial contribution on these projects.
The next grade separation project is Iowa, where an overpass will take traffic over the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad tracks. Iowa Avenue will be raised over the BNSF Railroad between Palmerita Avenue and Spring Street and will be completed in late 2011 or early 2012. Still in the design phase, both Riverside and Streeter Avenue projects will lower the streets under the rails. Studies have shown that more than 11,000 vehicles use these roads daily, and 59 trains cross these streets on the average every day.
It is a tremendous problem. At first, it's a safety problem. We've had the highest number of auto versus train and pedestrian versus train deaths in the nation, 64. That's just absolutely unacceptable. The other is that it causes the delays in traffic, and those delayed and stalled vehicles idling create 7 times more air emissions than cars driving at speed. It also stops our police and fire and ambulance from getting to where they need to go. Those are life-threatening delays, and we can't allow that to continue.
We've gotten a lot of support from the community in building this project. We realize it's an inconvenience for a lot of people, but they're working with us to make this thing a reality.
It's a traffic bottleneck today, but no waiting tomorrow, as grade separations change Riverside's landscape to ensure both vehicles and trains have the right-of-way without delays.
Let's follow Bridget and tour the new headquarters for Parks, Recreation, and Community Services, and she'll tell us how this move also benefits Dale Senior Center.
Parks, Recreation, and Community Services is moving. The headquarters for the new city department is now here at the Marcy, upstairs from the city's newest library branch, which just opened. This move will maximize space for both the library and parks and provide greater service for both customers.
The department moved from the Dale Center, or the White Park location, to the Marcy Library site because of accessibility. It's a location that, from the community's perspective, we're much more centrally located. We're easier to get to. We have the benefit of additional parking, so when people come in, it makes it easier for them to be able to locate at the site and be able to come in and conduct business.
The new Marcy Library, located at 6927 Magnolia Street, is the second home for the Marcy, formerly located in a much smaller location on Central. The $7.2 million relocation gives the library triple the space, and the same 9,000 square feet goes to the Parks Department on the floor above.
I think the way it benefits us is that we have more foot traffic that's coming in. You know, more residents are able to access and to be able to come up and get information on the programs that we offer.
But there's another reason for the move. The city has provided more space for the Dale Senior Center. Soon, the building at White Park will undergo a renovation to expand the center and the programs available there.
While the Parks offices were here in the building, we only had one room devoted to senior center activities, and now the entire building will be. So we're going to be essentially quadrupling the floor space that is devoted to senior activities.
Well, we've sort of made a commitment to our senior population. Our senior population is growing every single day, and they can't wait. They see some of the other centers, and they go out to some of them on a bus, and they think, well, gee, why can't we have this? And it's your turn, and by golly, you're going to have it.
We're really excited about the Dale Senior expansion. We'll now be able to offer programs in separate rooms rather than in one multi-purpose room like we have been. We're going to have a large banquet style room with a full service kitchen. We're going to have an arts and crafts room. We're going to have an area with a lounge setting with computer stations, a fitness center. Construction's expected to take 9 or 10 months. With construction, there's always a little leeway we give. And in the meantime, we're going to offer senior programs at some other locations throughout the city.
It's going to do a world of difference in a lot of people's lives. They're going to have so much room for all the wonderful things that they're going to put in.
The goal of the city has been to have sort of a string of senior centers throughout the city. It started with the Goski Center, which is sort of mid-city, and then we opened the La Sierra Senior Center last year, and now we're opening or finally getting to Dale's being a full senior center location. So that kind of completes the string that we were looking for.
The move to Marcy Library is almost finished. Another seamless move that gives seniors more space and parks a new headquarters. Everyone's happy, even our new neighbors.
Noisy neighbors.
A much-loved county park is becoming part of the city's park expansion. Garrett will tell us what changes park patrons can expect.
Martha McLean Anzaneros Park is a tranquil jewel within the city boundaries along the gently flowing Santa Ana River. People come here to see what the land along the river was like when the first settlers came to Riverside. Recently, the city and county came to an agreement, giving the park to the city. Now it is truly a Riverside Park.
The city is obtaining the park from the county because geographically it's located within the city's boundaries. And the park is, if you have a chance to take a walk through the park, you'll see that it's in fairly bad shape. And one of the things that we would be looking to do is to improve it, and more importantly, open it up to the public so that there's no cost, because right now there is a cost involved. The other nice benefit is that it's it's along the Santa Ana Trail, bike trail. So what it will do is it'll provide opportunities for people that are utilizing the trail to be able to have a spot where they can stop off and rest as they continue on their way either to the mountains or to the ocean. With the addition of Martha McLean Manzaneros, we will now have a total of 58 parks in the city's park system.
The 37-acre park, named after a former local environmental advocate, is mostly open riverfront space. The park is slated to be turned over to the city in July. The annual cost of the maintenance, roughly $300,000 annually, will be added to the 2012 park budget.
As a county park isolated within the city, the county just wasn't in a position to care for it as well as the city can. It also will give the city control over virtually all of the property from the railroad tracks, which are just over here and are the dividing line between Ward 1 and Ward 3, all the way up to the Pomona Freeway. And that's important because then we can plan that land better. And this is really a great little park, and I think it will be a wonderful addition to our park system.
Well, the first improvements that we'll do are infrastructure improvements. The irrigation system is a manual irrigation system, so we'll make it an automated irrigation system. The next thing that we'll obviously do is, from a maintenance standpoint, bring it up to the city standards. City standards are a little bit different from the counties. The other thing that we'll do is put in a playground, because the park doesn't currently have a playground. We'll look at improving, the picnic tables, putting more picnic tables in, but still preserving a lot of the green open space that currently exists within the park.
As a county park, there has always been an entrance fee to this facility. The city does not charge entrance fees for use of its parks, so we're hoping that will, having it be a free park, will increase park users and the frequency of people coming here and make it much more accessible to our community. Adding this park to the Riverside Park system is really a good fit. We need something like this. The location is perfect, and you can't beat a free price.
In 1966, the Tri-County Conservation League, headed by activists Martha McLean and Ruth Anderson Wilson, was formed to save the Santa Ana River from being contained in a concrete channel. By saving the fate of the river, they also saved the park.
The park is part of the whole effort that we started by recognizing the environmental part of this. In those days, you couldn't even spell environment. Nobody heard of environment or anything like it. There's a lot of open space here, and I'm hoping that people will find out about it and enjoy it, because this much open space in the city is a rare piece, and it really is lovely here. There's a lot of big trees, a lot of open space that just walking around and having picnics and that sort of thing. I don't think it's really had enough use. Now it can. Maybe the city can open it up a little more.
Now Riversiders can go to the Santa Ana and be within a city park.
A new affordable way to fund energy and water-efficient programs is being addressed using California Assembly Bills 811 and 474. Let's find out more.
Conservation of energy and water resources is high on everyone's mind. The days of endless supplies of fossil fuel are over. People of Riverside and the city are looking for answers, affordable answers, and the answer could be the Energy Efficiency and Water Conservation Loan Program. The city, in conjunction with Western Riverside Council of Governments, is opening new avenues that will allow both residents and businesses to invest in new resources, like solar paneling, and pay for it in a unique way.
The program is exactly what it kind of sounds like. It's a loan program for energy efficiency, water conservation, as well as renewable generation, which allows homeowners to take a loan out for any of these measures that are fixed to their property and finance it on their property tax. One of the benefits of that is actually if they move out of the property, the loan actually stays with the property as the improvements do.
Well, this plan definitely opens up the opportunity for more homeowners and business owners to tap into the AB 811 funding, because it puts it into a monthly fee and not an upfront cost. And so by joining this jurisdiction, by becoming part of this district, then homeowners, business owners will be allowed to finance it over the long run. Instead of having to pay $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 for a solar system, they can do that over 30 years as a part of their house payment.
To accomplish this, the Western Riverside Council of Governments, or WRCOG, is using California Assembly Bill 811 and AB 474. AB 811 is the enabling legislation that allows local municipalities to form such financing districts for energy efficiency. AB 474 allows local municipalities to form such financing districts for water efficiency.
Our organization's involvement is from a regional perspective. When the bill came out that enabled these kinds of programs to be put into place, you had a choice of having 18 different programs in Western Riverside County, each administered by the city or county, or one comprehensive program. And we looked at it from a cost effectiveness, marketing, and financial resources standpoint, and it made more sense to do this as one regional program rather than having 18 separate programs. The loan will be financed by WRCOG. The assessment will then be made on the property tax, and whoever is the owner of record will continue to make those payments through their biannual property tax payment over time until it's paid off.
We're actually providing a one-stop shop on greenriverside.com. The financing information for the WRCOG program will be on there, as well as information about the rebates and eligible products for the program. So it's kind of a twofold approach. You get an incentive or a rebate up front, and then you get a loan for the additional amount afterwards through the WRCOG program to make this as affordable as possible. Any residential or business customers of the City of Riverside Public Utilities is eligible for this program. Unfortunately, things like schools or governmental facilities don't actually qualify for eligibility because they don't pay property taxes.
Improvement costs must be reasonable in relation to property value. Proposed improvement must not exceed 10% of the market value of the property, and the total annual property tax and assessments, including the contractual assessment on the property, will not exceed 5% of the property's market value, as determined at the time of approval of the contractual assessment.
Some of the energy and water conservation programs that they can participate in is anything that's affixed to their property. So things like insulation, the replacement of their windows, which is typically a more expensive product to replace on your house, anything all the way to solar panels, and for businesses, things possibly like recycled water infrastructure moving forward.
The future of green energy has always been willing to take a chance on a new way of doing things. By joining this program, Riverside is showing once more that the city is always willing to take a chance on a new approach towards saving water and energy.
The relief effort to help Japan after their recent devastating earthquake was very personal for Riverside residents. Let's take a look at the results of those efforts.
The sister cities of Sendai, Japan and Riverside have a long history, more than 50 years of cultural, educational, and economic interaction. It's a lifetime of friendship and goodwill. When the March earthquake and tsunami struck that city, Riverside knew it could not just sit by and watch. The city residents raised more than $500,000 in relief funds for Sendai, showing that the ties that bind are tighter than ever.
The earthquake tsunami was of historic proportions, and I think people in Riverside began to understand what effect it had on the people and on the nature of the dynamics in Sendai, and so there was just an enormous outpouring of people contributing.
Donations came from local schools, businesses, and individuals in the month-long fundraising effort, ending with a delegation from Riverside visiting Sendai to get a first-hand look at the devastation. There, they presented the more than $500,000 check to a nonprofit to help with the restoration of Sendai.
We are here for two reasons. One, to say that you're not alone, that we've seen the kind of devastation. It's been brought by television to the homes of the residents of the City of Riverside. In my pocket, I'm bringing from the City of Riverside $500,000, $500,000. It's the most that I know of the city that has raised. Finally, just best wishes in your recovery. Godspeed.
While much of the downtown was spared, other outlying areas of Sendai were hard hit. The relief funds were greatly appreciated.
Sendai itself seems to be recovering very, very well. The inner core of the city, that is downtown, was largely unaffected, but it's the tsunami that did most of the damage.
It wasn't until we actually were the guests of the people of Sendai, they took us to the beach. And that was just stunning to see a territory that for many miles across the coast and 3 miles deep into Sendai was just devastating. When Mayor Loveridge announced that we were bringing a large amount of money to them to help them, and that we brought the best wishes of not only the adult citizens, but I could carry the message that how much our kids cared about them. They were very touched, and it just brought a tear to your eye to talk to these people about what had happened to them, and they no longer have a home.
They were extremely happy to see us. They were also extremely humbled. They were extremely pleased that we had actually, as a community, rallied to their support, and that meant a lot to them.
Thank you very much for sending message or now come visiting us to encourage us.
We are all very grateful, and I'm happy to meet all people who came to Sendai to support us.
This is not just simply turning the lights back on. This is a long-term recovery, and our money is going to help the volunteer effort.
Sendai and Riverside, two cities separated by an ocean, but bound by 50 years of relationships.
We're here at the first La Sierra Grand Prix, and Bridget's going to show us all the excitement. You don't want to miss it.
For those who love the thrill of speed combined with the joy of a festival, the Riverwalk area was the place to be in May as the first La Sierra Grand Prix revved its engine and roared into life. For a brief moment, this lot in Riverwalk was transformed into a racer's paradise with food, music, and a lot of racing.
The first La Sierra Grand Prix proved to be fun for the whole family, with exhibition races, a car show, drift demonstration, motorsports, family activities, and live entertainment. It was a community event everyone could relate to.
La Sierra has never had a signature event that brought all the people from Riverside out here to see who we are and what we're all about. And the surprise on their face when you get off the freeway and you see how amazing this area is here in the city, they go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So it's fantastic to get people to come out and see just how great the gateway to Riverside is, La Sierra.
We're racing 100cc two-stroke motors, and they'll go up to upwards of 80 miles an hour depending on the track and the gearing. Here today we're probably going to hit 60 miles an hour on the straightaway, and we'll have anywhere from 10 to 15 people racing today in different classes. There's a lot of competition and a lot of fast drivers.
It's a great event. I just came out to support my boyfriend. He's actually one of the racers. And it's just really awesome to see a lot of the city members coming together. You have the police department, paramedics, fire department. So it's a really exciting event. I see a lot of the children with the snow cones and the food. So it's awesome.
I'm glad it's actually being brought. Looking forward to, hopefully it'll be an annual event. I've gone go-karting before, never outdoor, and I'm just looking forward to it. The track's dry right now, so probably a lot more traction and a lot more speed.
It's something I haven't done before, and at my age, I'm happy to try new fun things, and I think it's great for the community to get out and support this, and good for Ward 7 and good for Ward 6. I'm just on the corner up the street, so it's just a community fun thing.
And this is our first of an annual event. We're going to have it every year. It'll grow. Next year we'll have more music, more vendors, more things for people to do. But for a first start day, this is awesome. We're having a great time.
Until next year's Grand Prix, let's burn rubber.
That's our show for today. I'm your host, Kit Sammy. Be sure to join us again next time for another episode of Riverside Today.